fairly quickly, I realized that this chapter was going to be, filler. If you want to call it that. Do you really get filler in a manga? I do not know, but I knew it was going to be light-hearted and not advancing the story much, if at all. And by the time I got to the end of the chapter, I've come to the conclusion, yeah, it doesn't advance the plot at all. Not no percent of the no percentage of it advancing the plot at all. But that doesn't mean it wasn't a good chapter. I think it was a very nice chapter, and I don't know if it's because currently I'm a bit of a mood. I'm a bit upset, just a little bit upset. But having this chapter to read, this light-hearted chapter to read, it made me feel a bit better, and I'm glad for that. It was humorous, it was touching, it was cliche. I love this chapter overall. But what exactly did we get? So basically, little Hannah. No, now that I know the story of her name, I will always remember it now. So yeah, I'm usually very bad when it comes to remembering characters' names. So yeah, so little Hannah, bless her, starting school soon. She wants a backpack for when she goes to school, and obviously, being a kid, again, this is a cliche thing. Kids always want the impossible, kind of. I don't know. Yeah. That's how I see it anyway. The impossible or the expensive. And in this instance, it's the impossible. She wants a very rare backpack, but Sakamoto is determined. He is absolutely determined to get this backpack for his baby girl. So he puts in a phone call. He finds out, alright, cool, they're going to be in this location at this time. He and Shin head out to get this backpack. And now it becomes a battle. Kind of reminds me of Black Friday. I don't know if you have that in your country, but Black Friday, people sometimes go a bit crazy, they're out there. It's basically a day when things are on sale, but because they're so cheap, people go crazy for them, so fine, and all sorts of madness. Google it. Google it if you don't know what I'm talking about. Google it or just type into YouTube Black Friday madness. I don't know, I just threw it out there. But you'll probably find a video of what I'm kind of trying to get into. So right here, so yeah, they do that. They're doing the shopping thing, and they try to fight for this bag now. And now the first thing about this chapter that made me laugh was when Shin got chopped in. I think it was the neck as well. He got chopped in the neck. I was like, oh my gosh! And then we found out it's grannies. Like the majority of the people here fighting for these bags were grannies in that. Don't mess with me with a snapper kind of thing, I'll hit you. I know there was no canes, but still, like, it was don't hit me, don't mess with the grannies kind of thing, kind of vibe. That I found it funny, and so, yeah, like I said, it's basically a battle for the bags, and Sakamoto going ham for his bag. He's very determined to do what it takes for his baby girl. Before we get into the shopping bit, we have another cliche thing where we have Shin. He's like, oh my gosh, she's almost in school now, and soon enough it's gonna come to the years where boys start hitting on her, and rightly so. Mr. Sakamoto, being an assassin, being about that life in the past, you're like, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. That's a typical cliche thought process of any guy who has a daughter, I am guessing. I know that's how I'm gonna be if I have a daughter. I know that's how I'm gonna be. Bad boys too. Know the treatment Reggie got. What's his name, Reggie? You know the treatment he got in Bad Boys too. Yeah, that's how you have to roll. That's just good. Don't want the door. Anyway, yeah, but. I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, so we have that. That was another funny moment. I'm not gonna lie to you. But we see Sakamoto. He's very determined to get this bag, and at a point, Shin doesn't get it. He's like, "Why are you so determined?" And then he accidentally reads Sakamoto's mind, and we basically get the flashback to when Hannah was born and the reasoning behind her name. And I found that bit so touching. Can't really describe it. I can't really explain why. I just found it so touching, and I was like, yeah. So within this, we are learning about Sakamoto. Obviously, we knew previously that his family means a very lot to him. There's loads of examples of that, but I guess within this chapter, this chapter is just really about seeing how far Daddy will go for his baby girl at the end of the damn day. Because at the end of the day, he does secure the bag, but he is severely beat up in the process. Severely beat up. At the end of the chapter, Hannah has her first day at school. And what caught me off guard, was that there's already a boy. We can't say hitting Hannah because he shouldn't. He shouldn't. I don't know how the boys roll in Japan, but here in the UK, at that age, we don't have them kind of tactics yet. So yeah, he was just like, oh hey, yeah, cool bag, like here's a flower kind of thing. Obviously, Sakamoto took this the wrong way. He's like, yo, what are you playing at? When you go back to the store, he's like, yo, my gun is ready for this kid, I won't bet to snipe this kid. And then you have the Mrs. Sakamoto. She's like, no, stop it. So yeah, that was it. That's the chapter. Like I said, it doesn't advance the story in any way, but it does make me question stuff that happened within the last chapter, where we had Sakamoto say, yo, we need to start training for the upcoming threats. And now I went into this whole thing about how it being too soon for a slim Sakamoto all the time, because essentially if he's training all the time, that's what we should be getting. I've reckoned for the majority of the series, it'll be dad bod. But, him in this chapter kind of contradicts what we had last chapter. But like I said, it's filler. One thing I do want to say though on this training thought process that I'm on right now is that I did think that when Shin started to read the mind of all the grannies in there, I feel like that was an improvement. I can't guarantee it, but I feel like that was an improvement of the level that he's been at previously. And at the same time, he's not used to this level, because if I'm remembering correctly, he did get overwhelmed and he had to pause, stop for a bit. But that's everything I want to say about this chapter. Overall, loved it. I feel like it deserves a 4-star rating. Like, of course, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. But most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.